Wholesaling, VAs, and creative finance. That's what we're talking about today on the Sub2Deals Show. Hey, Sub2ers, welcome to this episode of the Sub2Deals Show, where we talk about all things subject to. Now, occasionally we will talk about other real estate investing topics, but it's always something to help you with your real estate investing business. Hey, if you're listening to us on Google or Apple or one of those other podcast stations out there, we'd like to invite you to check us out at our YouTube channel. That's sub2tv.com. You can watch the podcast there, see our smiling faces, and just check us out. We drop a new video just about every single day, as well as do Facebook Lives almost every single week, and YouTube Lives over on our YouTube channel. So go check that out. If you're looking for creative finance, Sub2 training, we'd like to invite you to check us out at sub2university.com. We've got a ton of different courses and training materials over there that'll help you get started. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or your 100th deal, we've got something over there for everybody. And if you're just getting started and you're on a budget, check out our $7coaching.com. For $7 a month, I'll personally answer your questions on creative finance, give you some tips and tricks to get started, give you a 90-day action plan, step-by-step what to do to get started for $7 a month. I'm telling you guys, it is the best deal in creative finance. If you find something better or more affordable, let me know, because I absolutely want to join it. Guys, today we've got a guest who is a wholesaler who does creative finance and is also an expert on hiring VAs to help you in your business. I've been talking a lot about doing that lately because, like most of you folks, I'm pretty hard-headed as an entrepreneur. I think I am the best at everything. Nobody can do it as well as me. But at some point, you're going to reach a place where you just can't get everything done on your own. That's when you've got to bring someone else in to help you with the day-to-day task. And VAs are an excellent source of getting those things done. So we're going to bring in our guest today and talk to him a little bit about that, Mr. Shaun Young. Welcome to the Sub2Deals Show.
Hey, William. Hey, brother. How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic here in Northwest Arkansas. And I know you're doing great out there. Man, I read your bio. Terrific, great information. You started investing, gosh, I guess just about 6 or 7 years ago, and you've done phenomenally since then. But let you tell everybody about Shaun and what you do.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, very quickly, guys, the way I got started, I come from corporate America, came from a sales background, was top 3% in the nation for 8 or 9 years straight. My company was based in Sweden. They decided to change their CEO. The CEO that they brought in wanted his new sales team, project managers, a whole new squad in. So just like that, all of us were out of a job, just like that, from top to bottom. And I told myself, you know what? I'll never be in this position again where a job dictates my destiny or my livelihood. So that's when I decided to get into real estate. I heard, real estate was the best way to make money. So I gave it a shot.
Okay, that's fantastic. I mean, I can really relate to that stuff. I got started, I was in the restaurant business. I'd done that for 20 years. And I just absolutely hated it. And what I loved about your bio that I read is that you used wholesaling and other creative finance strategies to create financial and time freedom. Gosh.
Indeed.
Freedom. Really, when I got started, I thought I wanted to be rich, but what I really wanted was to buy my time back.
Indeed. Time is so valuable, guys. It's nothing like having the ability to do what you want when you want to do it. You build your business around how you want to operate your day. It's nothing better, guys.
Yeah, that's a fact. I'll tell you, not having to set a clock, get up every morning at a certain time, miss your kids' sports events and everything else.
Battle with traffic.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, that is the worst for me. I told my wife, in fact, this is a quote from me yesterday. I try not to get out before about 9 o'clock or after 3. I try to do all my running around during the middle part of the day when people are actually at work. And I'm telling you, we were having to drive through lunchtime traffic here, and it's super busy. And I said, I want you to know this is like the 10th level of hell to me right now. Driving around in this traffic, these people are nuts. But really, real estate is just, it has changed my life in so many ways. And time freedom, that really hit me when I read that in your bio, the time freedom thing, the ability
100%.
to do things when you want and where you want. So you said you got started when you got fired from your corporate job, got let go.
Yep.
So, hey, we've used you as much as we need you. We don't need you
We
anymore.
used you up.
Right. Now, I got my start with a old Carlton Sheets course off late night TV. How did you specifically get started and really get exposed to real estate?
Man, great question. So immediately after that, I was listening to, late night infomercials on TV. So there was this gentleman that was doing these nationwide tours, and they had a hotel tour here in my city of Atlanta, Georgia, where I live. I live in the suburbs of Atlanta, but it was near the Atlanta airport. So I said, hey, I'm going to go attend it. So I went to this event. They got us all pumped up, hyped up. At the end of the event, they ushered us all back to the back of the room and said, pull out your credit card and $30,000. You'll get our coaching, our mentorship. And guys, again, I didn't know any better. I had some severance money. I had, some money in savings. I said, hey, I'm going to give it a shot, right? So I gave it a shot. For 1 year, I never talked to the guy whose name was on the box, so to speak. I won't mention his name. I felt every time I called somebody, I spoke with a different sales person or a different customer service rep. I was just lost in the sauce. So I figured either I'm the dumbest guy around here trying to do this real estate stuff, or this just isn't for me. Almost gave up, guys, because I was getting recruited by other companies to do the sales thing that I was, thought I was so good at, right? And the money was winding down. I've got a family. I've got responsibilities. So, but almost giving up, guys. I literally Googled creative real estate options. And you know who came up? The Godfather, who's now my good friend, but he started off as my first distant coach, was as Ron LeGrand, the Godfather. Got his 99-cent course, guys, went through it in 2 weeks. Made 8 calls, 6 calls were non-answers. 7th call was a realtor. The 8th call was a sandwich lease option that yielded me $72,000, guys.
I'm telling you, Ron LeGrand, I love Ron LeGrand. When I got started, of course, he was already out there, very famous. And what I liked about him was he just no nonsense. Just, I don't want to hear your excuses. Get out there, do it. Or get out of the way so the rest of us can do it. And I really, really liked him a lot. He's, people like to bash gurus today. That used to be a word that meant respect, and now it's used almost in a joking way. And I'll tell you, I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on courses when I got started too. But I say, thank God for those gurus, or I would still be flipping hamburgers.
100%.
They
100%.
Every penny I spent was well worth it. And I thank God for them every single day. And you said something interesting just then. You bought an expensive mentorship or coaching program, and you didn't get to talk to the guy that ran it. And I know that you teach people today, as do I. And one of the things that impressed me about you was you said they can go to your website, nationwiderealestatemastery.com, and actually speak to you. So
actually get the guy get me.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm the same way. And we actually talked about this before the podcast. I don't like that stuff. If you call, you talk to a high pressure salesperson that sells you some stuff, and you may never speak to the name on the box. It's a junior coach or somebody that they just hired to do that. So if you want to talk to Shaun, go to nationwiderealestatemastery.com and he'll talk to you. So Shaun, your name seemed to be synonymous with wholesaling, but I know before we came on, you said you got started doing a lease option. But what all kind of strategies are you using today to buy real estate?
Yeah, guys, we're doing sandwich lease options, subject to owner finance deals. We're flipping land. Right. And guys, we made the pivot long ago because luckily my very next set of deals was wholesaling, because I took my non-refundable lease option that I got from my sandwich lease option. I invested into an actual coach because remember, I bought a 99-cent course that was Ron LeGrand's course. No longer available, unfortunately, guys, but I spent $5,000 to get a mentor with Tom Kroll, who at the time owned Wholesaling Inc.
Right.
And guys, that was the best investment that I ever made. Within 30 days, again, results may vary, but within 30 days, guys, I had 11 deals under contract. I ended up closing on 7 of those. But that immediate success also was a thorn in my side because I thought, wow, this is so easy. I took it not serious. And I thought anytime I send out these mailers or put out campaigns, I can do the exact same thing anytime. So it took me another 7 or 8 months to get another deal, guys.
Right. Right. I know, I could count on one hand the number of wholesale deals I had done in my 24 years of investing until we moved to Northwest Arkansas. And then it seemed, of course, there are so many different terms today. It's not just wholesaling, it's wholetailing. And I mean, everybody's got everything's new now. It's really not, but they have to make it.
It's been going on forever. We just got these new cool terms for them.
Forever, transactional lending. Now they call it some term named after like a reptile, like animal. And it's all kind of stuff like that, but it's been happening forever. But we've had a lot of luck lately getting houses under contract and selling them, and just doing a back-to-back close and making some incredible profits. I'm liking wholesaling now. I've never been a wholesaling person, but I'm loving it these days. Just some really cool deals. So yeah. So you're doing a little bit of everything today. You do some wholesale stuff. You're doing some sub-twos. The market's changing, man. That creative stuff is coming into vogue, and wholesaling for the most part is getting a little bit tougher. You think?
1,000%, guys. The writing's been on the wall for quite some time. My team knew around January, February of last year when the Fed was set on raising the interest rates. We knew where things were headed. So, guys, we made the pivot long ago, and luckily for us, we've always been a solution-oriented type of company where we're not boxed into wholesaling or into just looking at lease options or sub-twos. We're looking to solve problems and have the best exit strategy for all parties involved. So if that means that we present a wholesale, exit strategy or a sub-2, then that's what that means. So we were lucky in that aspect that we already had the knowledge to make that pivot very easily, because you're right, wholesaling has become a lot tougher.
Right. I mean, obviously deals still exist, but it has created, I mean, during the height of COVID, getting sub-twos and seller financing got a little bit more difficult because, people were able to sell and get over market value, and most people were tuned. And then we didn't have any foreclosures for a year. Man, I was shocked. And then, when most of your business is foreclosures, that impacts you somewhat. So yeah, that was a little bit tough then, but yeah. And really what you said is absolutely true. You need to know a few techniques, do your marketing, and then you put that seller in the appropriate box when they call. It's a wholesale deal or it's a sub-2, maybe a keeper you can sell with seller financing. It's important to know more than one strategy for sure. So when you're growing your business, I know one of the things that you do is you provide trained VAs for real estate investors. So for people, maybe like I said in the opening, I said, as entrepreneurs, we're very hard-headed. We think we can do it all. We can be a one-man show. But if you want to scale your business to any degree, and I'm not talking about 100 deals a month, guys, I'm talking about 3 to 5 deals a month and not lose your mind. Jody and I had 5 deals under contract last month, and it drove us insane. Trying to keep all the things going and different types, foreclosures that are going to be keepers and wholesale deals and stuff. And it was really hard. So, we've got one VA. We obviously need more. What do you recommend as far as, now I know you've got a company here and you've been kind enough to give our listeners a fantastic deal on this, REI World Solutions, where you can get your VAs 50% off if you use the code FREEDOM. But for those of us out here who may be a little more hard-headed and we're just looking around, you got any tips on how to find and train a good VA?
Absolutely, guys. I'm just like you, William. I was hard-headed at first, and if it wasn't for my coach continuously pounding into my head, Shaun, if you want to go from 1 or 2 deals a month, you've got to get out of your own way. And remember, guys, I said at the beginning, I come from a sales executive background. I thought I was the man, right? I'm the Tom Cruise, I'm the Top Gun of selling, right? So I'm thinking, hey, who's going to do it at my level? I can't afford to put this marketing into play and have deals get dropped or lost or not know how to pick. All these things that were just thoughts in my head. So once I went out there and tried to get a VA, guys, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. I hired some virtual assistants, and I had some horrible success with those guys and gals for about a 6-month period. And what were my troubles and struggles? It was the fact that I didn't know that I really needed to train them and manage them and monitor them and ensure that they're on task and have goals and know what their KPIs are and understand the core values of the company. All these things that I just didn't understand at first, but they're super important. That's why I had troubles getting a VA that was successful up front.
Right. So what could, now obviously someone can come to your service at reiworldsolutions.com and hire a VA that's already trained, that knows what to do. What could an investor that's just starting to utilize VA services, what kind of budget should they expect to set to have a VA to do some things for them?
Guys, the way you want to look at it is, what is it that you cannot afford to have yourself doing for your company? And guys, you don't want to devalue the position and you don't want to overvalue the position, but you got to make sure that it's something that you cannot afford for you to be doing in the company, or you're doing your company a disservice. So guys, a good range that I would say is between $7 to maybe $11 is a good range. Anything above that is kind of overkill. Anything below that is, you're just not going to get what you're looking for. And I want you to understand why that is. The VA is not going to be incentivized to work hard for you and your company at that low of a pay rate. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be going through an agency, and that agency is going to take a cut. So that VA is going to be left with little to nothing and little to no motivation to do the good job for you that you're wanting. The second biggest thing that I see is the biggest hurdle that folks run into is that the virtual assistant is working for you from 9 to 3, and then from 4 to 8, they're working for another company. You guys got to find a virtual assistant that is dedicated to your company and your company only.
Right. So if they call your company, they're going to get a dedicated VA that works just for them?
Absolutely, 100%. This reports to you every morning at the end of the day. They're there to do cold calling, admin tasks, sending out agreements on your behalf, running comps, running your CRM, text messaging, cold guys. The list goes on. Our virtual assistants all have college educations. They're all 4-year degree educated. They have accent coaching. They're monitored, managed by us along with you as well. So those are the situations that you want to look for if you want to have a successful virtual assistant. Of course, there's anomalies. There's things that are happening. You'll get lucky. And but guys, you don't want to gamble with your business. You want to shoot for success.
Right. What is your recommendation for someone just starting to use a VA, maybe for the first time? What are some good tasks for them to get a VA to take off of them right away?
Guys, you want a VA that's able to do market research for you, list pulling for you, skip tracing for you, loading numbers into that whatever calling system you guys are going to use, actually making those calls and following up on those calls. Guys, if you're not doing it at a high rate, don't play with yourself. Don't do this, because you have to do it at a high rate. And what I mean by high rate is you got to make hundreds of calls per day. If you're not able to do that, if you're not able to follow up on hundreds of text messages that you may send out per day, then that's clear that you need some help to help you out with that. So those are the basic first tasks that you want to have. Someone who can help you out with the cold calling and basic admin tasks.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. So Shaun, tell us a little bit more about your training that you do for real estate investors. What type of courses do you teach or coaching do you do for other real estate investors?
Absolutely, guys. I teach folks right now how to do deals nationwide. So whether that's wholesaling, creative finance deals, I teach you guys how to look for the opportunity to be a transactional coordinator, transaction engineer, basically. Someone who can come in, figure out what is the situation, what's the problem, and then provide a solution. So I teach students how to do that all over the nation. Been doing that now for about 3 or 4 years. And we've got a lot of folks who are doing very well, making a lot of money doing what we're doing.
Okay, great. So you guys go to nationwide realestateMastery.com and actually talk to Shaun. And also check out his podcast. He's got a podcast. He talks to other investors and gurus in the space and does teaching on his own. And that podcast, I'm sure you're on Apple and Google and all the other podcast mediums out there. Just do a search for Nationwide Real Estate Mastery Podcast. So Shaun, tell me now, as a transaction engineer, someone that does all types of deals, and we talked just for a second about this earlier, but what do you see happening in the market right now? Where are we heading? What's going to be the thing to do for the next 12, 24 months as an investor?
Guys, learn how to do creative strategies. I'm telling you right now is the time for that. Just like William mentioned earlier, those moratoriums have expired. The ability to hold off the foreclosures is out of there, guys. So you're going to see pre-foreclosures climb. You're going to see folks that are going to need our help, basically, is what I'm saying, guys. So learn how to be someone, again, who can provide solutions to the problems that are building and mounting in our nation right now. If you're not aware of it, in the wholesaling industry, why are you having a tough time in the wholesaling, guys? It's because interest rates are high. Price for goods are high. This translates over to your cash buyers. Folks are going to be actually going out and adding the value to those properties. If they're in a tough predicament or predicament where they have to be more conservative, it's going to affect their ability to buy at the same pace or rate that they once were able to buy, 2 years ago.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. So talk to Shaun at Nationwide Real Estate Mastery.com. If you want to learn some tips on wholesaling, creative finance. Check out his podcast at Nationwide Real Estate Mastery Podcast. And if you're looking for VAs, someone to help you with your business, reiworldsolutions.com. And don't forget to use the code FREEDOM and get 50% off of your VA. So, man, you can't beat that at all. Can't beat that with a stick. Hey, Shaun, thanks so much for being here today with us. We really appreciate you sharing your experience and your tips on VAs and getting out there and making some money.
William, thank you for having me, brother. It's been a pleasure.
All right, great. Talk to you soon. Okay, guys, that is it for this episode of the Sub2Deals Show. Again, we'd like for you to join us at our YouTube channel, sub2tv.com. Subscribe. We will upload new videos every single day, helping you with creative finance. It's really what we focus on. Occasionally, we do some wholesale stuff, and you've heard me talk a lot about radio lately. We've been talking a lot about radio because that has been producing some amazing results for us lately. Sub2 University, where you can get courses and coaching on creative finance and that sort of thing. And if you're just learning a little bit about creative finance right now, go check out our free guide on creative finance. And you can get that at sub2deals.com/CFG. So, guys, we really appreciate you joining us here today. And until next time on the Sub2Deals Show, get out there, talk to some sellers, buy some houses.